Hey everybody, we are back, Funnel Hacker TV. We are going to be talking all about the Atlas research reveal that happened yesterday. Oh, it was so awesome. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be nerding out on all of the parts of it. So if you missed it, you're going to get a good recap from us, and then we're going to tell you the parts that you need to go make sure you watch for yourself. So let's go ahead and roll the intro and we'll be back.
We are part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Funnel Hacker TV. My name is Ben Moot, and this is
Susan Leonardson.
We are so excited to be able to be here, guys. So normally we've been going live every Tuesday and Thursday for Funnel Hacker TV. So it's Tuesday and Thursday. Usually it's 1 p.m. Mountain Standard, 3 p.m. Eastern for you guys. But yesterday was a day, and we did not want to step on any toes. It was Russell's time, and we want to talk about it because we've been keeping things secret from you guys, and we now get to talk. So first off, if you guys are here joining us for the first time, make sure that you text FHTV to 208-231-3797 to make sure you get the text automations. I know the one today went out a little bit early. No worries. Happy to see you guys. And then if you guys want the email recaps, we send those out every single Friday, so that way you get everything that you may have missed in the whole ClickFunnels world at FunnelHackerTV or FunnelHacker.tv. Yep, that'll take care of everything. So make sure you're signed up for all the notifications so you don't miss anything. Number one. Number two, we had fun yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So I'm still out in Georgia, and so I have not flown back into Boise. I need to get back in. But Susan's just down the street.
Yes.
So she
awesome.
went over to the office.
Yeah, so I was able to be there in the room in person, and I'll tell you some experiences and things throughout this episode. But hey, it's so awesome being able to just jump in.
Right? Okay, so really quick. Couple of days ago, Russell dropped a video on Instagram and on Facebook on his page. And if you guys missed it, make sure you're following Russell because he's also dropped like 2 podcasts in the last 3 days. And there's a third one coming either today or tomorrow. And he dropped this announcement video. And he talks specifically about how all these things work. Let's go ahead and throw that up so everybody can see kind of a little preview behind it. And this is literally, this is us recording him. So you guys feel like you got the behind the scenes. And Russell kind of announced, look, I'm going to be doing an event. And it's going to be ridiculously cool. You're absolutely going to love it. And I'm going to share the madness. Like a lot of people have been wondering, I've been buying a lot of books lately. Like, where does this all go? What's the vision behind it? And so he reveals the books in this little teaser. He kind of talks about it and kind of what the vision is. But it was all to push the event yesterday. And that event yesterday, if you actually go on, it's live in several different places. You can still see it, I believe, on Facebook if you know where to look. I believe you could find it on YouTube. But watch your emails or just go to secretsofsuccess.com/Atlas and you can opt in. And I believe the replay should be there as well. So number one, make sure that you go and just check that out because it's really, really cool. But number two, the event yesterday. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Okay. So are we gonna talk about we're gonna tell our story just a second. I don't know. Ben, do you want to start first though?
Yeah, I can do it first. So
first time, because this is not the first time that we've actually seen what you guys saw yesterday.
No. So guys, if you missed yesterday, you definitely need to go watch it. This is just little recaps so that way you're like, oh my gosh. About a year ago, Russell boxed me and was like, hey, I've got projects that you would be perfect for. Are you able to like fly over? I'm like, done. And so I flew on over and got to hang out. And the first thing that he's like, oh, hey, Ben, and start talking about things. He goes, do you want to see the library stuff? I'm like, yes. And so he took me across the street and where they were housing everything for the time being. Now it's moved. It's in a secret location I cannot talk about. But he started showing all of the books and was telling me the stories behind them and the things that he was getting. And like he was buying bookshelves, like a book company went out of business in Boise. And so he bought bookshelves and he was having his having them cleaned out so that way we could put all the books in there. And like he was showing me the magazines and telling me stories about Albert Hubbard and all these different people that you've never heard of that have changed the world that you and I live in today. We just don't recognize it. This is going back to the source. And we went through, I think it was like 4 or 5 different rooms. And just to be able to see each piece step by step and the history he's collecting, the things he's discovering, it blew my mind. And to be able to actually for you to see it now, it's like, okay, we can talk about it. It's time we're able to actually have this discussion. So that was when I first saw stuff, and I've seen the things he's been collecting since and where he's housing it and other pieces that he's buying. And we'll keep talking about that. But Susan, when is the first time like you got to actually see and touch?
Okay, so for this entire event that happened yesterday, he actually presented this in Mexico at Mastermind in Paradise, and then again in the Inner Circle event that we both got to go to. And I'll just say, like, Mastermind in Paradise was the first time, right? Yeah. And it was also the first time that he had presented it to anyone. And if you watch yesterday's live about it, the presentation, he talks about how like he was actually so nervous about it that he almost didn't go and make the offer that he made during it, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And he almost just didn't do it at all. And I'm so glad that he did, because if you're someone who you love education in the sense of like always having a desire to learn and grow as a human and gathering knowledge and preserving that for, posterity to be able to access that anytime we want. And unfortunately, like sometimes we lose some of that history for various reasons. And so as I was watching the same video that he showed yesterday in Mexico, I was getting like so emotional, and it was just so awesome. Like he talked about yesterday how like that he came out on the stage when he wasn't going to make the offer, and then he came out on the stage and he saw people in the audience like getting teary-eyed and crying. I'm like, I was one of those people because it was just so moving. And so if you have to go watch the portion of the video that he showed yesterday. I mean, you really should watch the whole thing, but the video, just the way that they told the story and Russell's story it was so awesome. So that was my first experience of seeing what he's working on.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's like catching the vision, right? Yeah. So Russell talked about like the phases he's built this in. And if you guys are like into Russell, like if you are trying to learn all these things from Russell, he's following the Expert Secrets playbook perfectly. He is being a reporter first. He is grabbing all the stories and talking about all these things and why they're important step by step. He is becoming the ultimate reporter, and he knows for whom. And it's for the entrepreneur. So he had these statues built, and they're being built, but he had like the little pre-ones built, which are really small. They'll be the big ones that are in the event center. We'll show you like a little preview of that video that he showed, but they are these massive statues of Atlas holding the weight of the world. And he's like, a lot of the times you as business owners are holding the weight of the world. And I want this to be a place, he keeps saying like, I want it to be a place where it inspires you to keep holding that weight and not shrug it off. But I almost felt like this became the place where it was okay to shrug it off for a moment, to be able to get that breath of fresh air. What he is building, what he's creating is that place where the business owner becomes refreshed. So that way they can go back, pick up the globe and walk out the door and go keep changing the world. And so it's such a really cool like preview into the vision of what he's building. So if you're trying to figure out how to launch your business, number one, go see how he's doing it. Because this is him launching something brand spanking new, never done before. This has been like 3 years in the making. And it all comes down to that moment when Tony Robbins asked him, if you were going to sell ClickFunnels, what would you do? And he's like, I don't know what I would do. This is everything. And so this is it. This is yeah. So pay attention. Like a lot of us try to figure out, well, what's the thing I'm trying to do? How am I doing it? What is the pieces? This is it. He's showing it to you, and you can model it step by step. Like this is where funnel hacking becomes funnel hacking. So, with that said,
should we talk about books?
Let's talk about the books.
So he kicked off the event yesterday. He had the stage set with just a handful of his collection, of the books in his collection, and he was showing it off to us yesterday, right? And there was definitely some really awesome and special pieces that Ben and I wanted to kind of highlight and bring to your attention so that you want to go watch that video.
Yeah.
You want to talk about like the first one that he kicked off with?
Yep. So the first one, and this is him kind of previewing a couple of them. The ones that he kicked off with, the first one he kicked off with was the first old book that he bought was an old Book of Mormon, which is important to people who are Mormons or Latter-day Saints. And so he talks about like why this is so valuable and why it was important to him and what it meant, and his experience buying it for the first time and having to tell his wife that he spent this much money on a book. And then he talked about, so he shared that book as like the beginning of the adventure. You don't know where your calling to adventure begins. You just go, right? And then the next piece that he does is he talked about the next book he got, which is possibly the rarest book in America. And he showed it to us. And it's like one of the most expensive single books he's bought. Now we're talking about, he was talking about how much he spent on like the Napoleon Hill stuff. Just the collection was like 2 million.
Yeah.
I think is what he said yesterday.
That had a lot of books in it. Like
So
that's
many
the
books.
the story he tells of like when he flew out on a private jet to fly them back, and it was just boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. So there's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So he talks about the most expensive book that he like, just singular, just a book.
It's the one book. And so yeah, and so he started buying this book, and he started buying other books, and he's like, I need a place to put these. And they had this plot of land that they weren't using. He's like, what if? So he started talking to his architecture friend. Now, you're going to have to go there for the full story. I want to highlight the books. The first groups of books that he started to get was Napoleon Hill books. And like he got Laws of Success. And if you guys have read Laws of Success or even heard of it, if you've heard of it, go listen to it, go buy it, go through it. But there's two versions. It was published in 1925 as an individual booklets. And then it was massively edited, like by publishers and Andrew Carnegie and all these groups. And so that's how the story goes anyways. And because of that, the book that he published in 1925 is not the book that you have available to you. Russell has the original 1925 edition signed in 1926. And so he showed that. He showed Think and Grow Rich, and was able to walk through that and be able to show us like the different, oh my gosh. He showed us the book, and then he's like, oh, and by the way, I'm publishing the book myself. And he showed his book, and it's, oh my gosh, and it's all going to be housed in this beautiful, amazing place. Oh my gosh. So yeah.
The one that he's the Think and Grow Rich, he's like, look, I wrote the foreword. That was that one, right? Like he wrote then the new version of it, the reprint. So that was pretty cool. Okay, but then he started talking about his favorite Napoleon Hill book, and you have a story to tell about that, right, Ben?
Yes, I do. Okay, so you first. If you guys know what it is, type it down below.
Yeah. Right. So if you know what his favorite Napoleon Hill book is, put it in the comments. But there's a sequel to this book, and it never was published. It was like never, like it was hidden. Like you didn't even know it existed until very recently when he acquired the manuscript for it. So that's going to be really awesome. So he has a Napoleon Hill book manuscript that never got published. And it happens to be the sequel to his favorite book.
Which is Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah. And then the sequel is Outwitting the Beast.
Yep. And Outwitting the Beast refers to, you're going to have to watch in order to find out. But it's brilliant. What if you were to take all the frameworks from the Laws of Success and from Think and Grow Rich and apply them for evil? How would you take that person down? Like, it's Outwitting the Beast is ridiculously cool. Outwitting the Devil is available. You guys can get it on Audible and all that stuff. I would highly recommend it. It is such a cool book. But there's a story behind it, and I was reading about it, and I'm like, oh, I was listening to this audio version, and Russell goes, you know, in that audio version, there's a part that's taken out about Mormons, about people who are LDS. I'm like, say what? And he's like, yeah, it was taken out. And so I went on Google and searched it. Come to find out, it was taken out. I'm like, why would he do that? So I Googled Outwitting the Beast, or Outwitting the Devil, Mormon, just to see. Come to find out, one of the very first pieces of LDS fiction was a conversation between LDS's founder, Joseph Smith, and the devil. And it's written in the same verbiage and the same flow, all that. And Napoleon Hill talks about that right before he goes into his discussion with the devil. He talks about how this all works. And we're like, why in the world would he bring it up? I'm like, unless he saw that as a template first. So that's my theory. That's my theory, is that it was his template first, and he went and took it to the next level and wrote Outwitting the Devil, which is an amazing masterpiece. Russell actually owns now the original pamphlets of that discussion with Joseph Smith and the devil. Now he's got Outwitting the Devil, and he's got Outwitting the Beast. He's got other manuscripts that you've never seen, like Hand of Destiny.
Yeah. Crazy.
Napoleon Hill's like a king of naming stuff. And so, like, as we're going through this, let us know, like, if you watched yesterday, what were your ahas? What were your ideas? Like, what are the things that kind of came up for you? Because I kind of want to talk about, you think it's okay to talk about the event center real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the event center itself. So do you want to take this on for me?
Yeah, well, so we've spent a lot of time talking about the books. Russell has spent a lot of time yesterday showing the books, but it all kind of culminated into this, like, okay, but why have I been collecting all these books, and what am I going to do with all of these? And he actually made a comment that just cracked me up, of like, there's a difference between a hoarder and a collector, and it's where you're keeping the stuff. And so he is putting his books into a library / museum, which is called the Atlas Research Center. And that is, you're seeing like some CGI rendering of what it's going to look like here on the screen. It's going to be built right here in Boise, literally behind ClickFunnels headquarters. And it's going to be library, museum, and also like an event center, if you will.
Yeah.
For people to come and speak, share their own expertise, their knowledge, share their presentation on stage in a room that fits about 100 people, and then have their knowledge and information archived into the Atlas Research Center. So really cool. And you're seeing like the statues, the Atlas statues are going to be huge, and they're going to be in the center. They're going to be like, they're just gonna be massive. It's gonna be so cool to walk into. What else do you want to say about the library, Ben?
Like, so what's fascinating is not all the cool things. Like, nobody has access to this. The only way you have access to it is become a founding member on one level or another at this point. Like, this is not open to the public library because it's more like a museum and event center. And because of that, like, there's things that are built into this that speak just to you, that are special just for you. And it's something you need to watch in order to catch the vision. Like, it doesn't matter how much Susan and I kind of talk about this and try to give this to you. This is something you need to watch the video. Or if you guys are on the podcast, either today or tomorrow, he's dropping the audio of that video. So if you're not able to watch and you don't want to see all the really cool graphics and like see what it's going to look like and have him give you a tour of it before it's built, if you don't want that for whatever crazy reason, listen to the podcast, because it will move you. There's very few videos that Russell has put out that move me the way this did. Funnel hacking live videos can do that for me. Couple of other ones do. This moved the whole audience. Every time he's put it anywhere, it has changed the perspective of today is where I stand. This is what's brought me to today, and this is where I choose to go. Like, there was even that person who made that comment while they watched the video.
Yeah, there is, and he mentions it in the video too. So there is someone that was hanging out on Zoom, and they were like, "It's now my life goal to write a book that will be worthy to be in the Atlas Research Center." I was like, Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what an amazing goal. Because that would improve you beyond what you could imagine, right? Like if that was your goal. So cool.
It's crazy. Like, this is, if you're looking for that moment where you're able to switch gears and you're able to move at a higher level, this is the best motivation I have seen yet. And it is beautiful and it is spectacular. And of course, it wouldn't be Russell if you didn't get a hook, a story, and then an offer.
An offer. So of
So,
course there was an offer.
oh my gosh. And
But it wasn't just an offer.
no,
It was $1 million offer.
it was $1 million offer. And the first time we did it was at Mastermind in Paradise, and I missed it. Susan got to hear it live.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like,
And so kind of the piece of it is on the event side, there are certain chairs, there are certain seats that you're able to get, and you have access to that seat before anybody else. You also have access to virtual seats, and you have all these different things. Like the full breakdown, we're going to show you where it's at and kind of walk through the page, because the page itself is really cool. It's like a Kickstarter. It's cool. But Russell walked through what the offer is piece by piece. And at Mastermind in Paradise, it was $1 million offer. And then there was like an offer worth $100,000 plus or so. Like, it was crazy. Now he split it up even to additional offers. So there's $1 million, a $500,000, a $200,000, a $25,000, and so on and so on. He's broke it down so that way, if this part is part of your dream, you can take action and move forward into it. And it was really, really cool. And why is the offer important? Because there's a groundbreaking. And it's happening at the end of the month.
Yes, it's happening this month. It's happening the 23rd. Like, that's just in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So groundbreaking. Like I said, it's in Boise. It's right by the ClickFunnels headquarters. And Ben and I get to be there, which is going to be so cool. And it's not just a groundbreaking, though. It is, he's bringing in speakers. He's going to give a tour of some of the collection. It will be the actual groundbreaking and like just a fun time, and just with the people. The only people that get to come to this are the people that have purchased the seat licenses in the room. And then there's another way that you can also attend. So it's so exclusive, and the people that are going to be there are like the highest caliber people in Russell's world, right?
And it's not something that's like streamable. Like,
No.
there's processes to this. So he's moved the library. He's set it up somewhere else. He's got P.T. Barnum stuff. He's got Napoleon Hill stuff. And it's all organized and collected and beautiful. They've been like perfecting it. And it's even what it's at right now, it's worth seeing. Like, I've been able to see several people go and see this, have early access. Eileen Wilder, Annie Grace. And to see Eileen Wilder is just in awe. She's going through it. But Annie Grace, it was so cool. Russell showed her everything, like, this is this room and this room. And then she just kind of had her opportunity to walk around, and she stood in front of this book, and she just utter reverence, just looking through the pages of these books. And it's the coolest experience. Like, in the podcasting room where Russell does all of his podcasting, that's his Napoleon Hill stuff. And you will go into that room, you shut the door, and there's this special feeling. Like, you're surrounded by all this history and all these different, it's just, there's something special about all of this. And if you want to feel it, you need to go experience it, because it's cool. Like, I think there's something that's touching everybody. It's unique to each of us, but it's something that endures in all of us. And so this is the keys to secrets of success. And it is so cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm really excited for the groundbreaking day, because in person, I've only been able to really look at a couple of his books. And that was yesterday. We were done with the stream, and I was like, okay, I'm going to run up on the stage, like, in the room where they stream, right? Russell just kind of putting some stuff away a little bit. I'm like, oh, I got to go ask. Okay. So I went up there. I was like, Russell, can you show me? Because I'm also Mormon. I was like, can you show me the Book of Mormon and the Book of Commandments? And he's like, oh yeah. And he's like, flip. I'm like, I'm not touching them. Like you have to show them to me. I was like afraid. But he was just flipping through them, some of the pages very delicately. Right. And it was just so cool. And I mentioned to him, I was like, can you just imagine the hands that have touched this? And that's true for any of the books in the entire collection that he has, right? Like just imagine being able to come out here and get the tour of some of the books and being able to be close to them. You can smell them and just imagine like the hands that touch the books. So awesome. So I'm really excited for that day.
And like all of these are going to be under glass once the building is built.
Yeah.
Like this is your opportunity to be able to see them before they are encased forever, and preserved. And so it's going to be worth it. So please go and watch. Can we walk them through the page real quick? I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So
the coolest thing about this, like, so we come and look at the page, look at the offer, like buy the stuff, right? But like the page itself is just the way that it's set up, like Kickstarter style, is really cool. And it's beautiful, and it really does a great job of showing the center, and like it just like is classic looking, like how awesome. But yeah, the side scroll thing with the offers over there, the different options. So awesome. So anyway, what else do you want to say about this page, Ben?
No, it's number one, this is built in 2.0, aka yes, 2.0 works. Yes, we're taking payments of $25,000 and deposits and all that stuff right now. It is working. Like there's so much that's cool here. It's beautifully designed, it's sleek, it's clean. And a lot of you guys, if you guys have questions, this is the place to go for it. It's interesting. Like a lot of us look for that opportunity. I don't know why, but a lot of us have always looked for that opportunity that really calls us, or we feel like we're a part of that. This is part of our next step. And I've never looked at a page, an offer page, more fondly. Like I've had that moment where I'm like, I need to buy this because it's $9.97 and it can change my life. And oh, it is $9.97. I've had that experience before. I've had that experience when it's $10,000 and when it's more. But to be able to, this is a unique offer. And Russell explains why it's genuinely a ridiculous offer. He's like rethinking the price points as he's on the stage. Like, oh my gosh, this is a bad idea. This is way too cheap.
By the way, they've already gone, like these are different offers and different packages than what he presented in Mexico. Yeah. So like
and
the
price
urgency is real and the scarcity is real. Like they've gone up.
And you've got, I mean, obviously you get to choose your seats. And so that's it. But like the price went up from stuff from Mastermind in Paradise. And there's so many cool things. One of my favorite parts of this offer, by the way, let's choose the $1 million offer. Number one, you get to do if you do the $1 million, you get to do a live event from the center. You get to have 3 implementation events. This is you going through with the ClickFunnels team and building out your business so it follows the process that Russell is building all of it, restructuring everything under, if it doesn't fall under that way. So you're going to get those implementation events in order to be able to help you do that. And that's just ridiculous. But one of the most powerful things here for me is the virtual seat licenses. So you get the ability to be able to have first dibs on a seat when he has Oprah come and speak, or Tony Robbins, or Dean, or name all the people that you would want to speak at this event. You have the first dibs, but you also have 40 seats, and you get to sell the tickets for them. You do, and that's crazy. It is one of the coolest things ever. And so if you pay $1 million, you get 40 virtual seats. If you've got the founding member, which is $500K, you get 30, and the number just keeps dropping piece after piece. I think that's the lowest you get yet. So if you do the $200,000, you get 20 virtual seat licenses, and it's just It's beyond crazy, my friends. It is beyond crazy and extremely well worth it. But the best place to go is to go and actually jump in on this is going to be secretsofsuccess.com/atlas. Go register and watch the replay. Because Russell said, like, if there was something that he was doing for the next several decades, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be such an interesting ride. And I am so stoked to be able to watch, to be able to support, to be able to freak out with you guys. Go and watch the replay. It's moving. I don't know if there's any other way to put it. You will look at your life differently, what's brought you up to this point and where you want to go. It really does.
Yeah. I agree. I think you said it all.
I don't know what else to talk about.
So awesome.
This is yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's all that we had today. Again, that's secretsofsuccess.com/atlas to be able to go and register and watch the whole thing. Is well worth it. I think it was about 90 minutes long. Well worth every moment of it. And there's some other, like, we just talked about the offers for securing like a seat license and getting virtual tickets, virtual seats. But there's some other offers on that page you can go check out that if you're just like, oh, I just want to be at the groundbreaking, like, it would be so cool to be at the groundbreaking. Like, there's some options for that too. So be aware.
Yep.
Like any level that you want to participate in this project, there's probably something that'll work for you. So
yeah.
Okay.
Change the world. It's so cool. So everybody, thank you for being here today. We love seeing you at Funnel Hacker TV. If you guys want to be able to get notifications when we go live again, on Tuesday, we're going live with a special guest who's going to talk about how to be able to find a funnel builder, or if you are a funnel builder, how to get in on the inside lane to be able to find work. So it's for both of you. If you guys want to hear how that process goes, you're going to want to be there on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Mountain, 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you guys want notifications, text FHTV to 208-231-3797, or go to FunnelHacker.tv and get the recaps there. Everybody, thank you for being there. Once again, my name is Susan.
My name is Ben. We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys later.
My name is Russell Brunson, and I'm part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on cash from venture capitalists to get started, and we don't even have goals to go public either. In fact, our motivation is the exact opposite. You see, we have products and services and things that we know change people's lives. But because we're fighting against the big brands, people with literally unlimited budgets, we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We don't have financial safety nets because every test we take is with our own money. We have to be profitable from day number one. So how do we do that? How is that even possible? If you ask the MBAs or look in your college textbooks, they will tell you that what we are doing is impossible, yet it's happening every single day. And it's happening through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. It's not really something that I can explain to you. It's something I have to show you. These stories are a glimpse of entrepreneurs just like you who have a dream and a vision who want to change the world in their own little way. I use the funnel hacking process to help make their dreams become a reality. Yes, we are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.